Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Crystal Elaine.
And I'm crazy all day, all night. Who needs that degree when you're schooling life?
And I'm excited that you decided to click on my video today. I hope that you like it enough to watch more videos. If you are not new here, I'm ecstatic. I am over the moon. I am very appreciative and happy that you like my videos enough to click on another one. And I hope underneath this umbrella of learning to become God's daughter, that you've been able to either learn something new, you've been comforted by something that I said, you have been able to resonate with something, that you have been able to feel seen and heard, or something of the sorts. And I appreciate you. We are here with another conversation underneath that umbrella of learning to become God's daughter. And our topic of conversation today, I feel like, is not the prettiest. And I feel that way because I felt attacked. But we're going to be able to really get into it. But the topic of conversation today is check your heart posture. All right. I feel like the foundation of this video has been brewing over some time. And God recently, within this past week, God has said, check it. And I've been like, okay. Okay, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna give an overview, and I'm gonna try my best not to restart because I restarted this video a lot and it's leading for me to start to get a little flustered. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. And I hope that I do a great job of making sure that I fly the plane in a way that you are following along and that you understand what I'm saying. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with a verse that was actually giving me some tension this year. Um, and it was giving me some tension and it was giving me some frustration because I felt attacked because it kept coming up, and it led for me to call friends and have conversations about it. So the verse is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, right? And so I'm about to actually read the verse, but to give an overview, in Jeremiah chapter 17, Jeremiah is actually speaking to the people of Judah, and he's letting them know that because of their sinful nature, they are about to lose the inheritance that God has. In your own time, actually read the whole chapter. I am an advocate of reading things within the entirety and not just paying attention to the specific verse, because sometimes the rest of the chapter has more context that you actually need to understand. For the sake of time for this video, I'm going to be focusing on that one verse. I hope that makes sense. Okay, stop overthinking, Crystal. Just get into it. All right. So, verse 9, it says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" And I felt attacked because I kept hearing it. And I'm like, God, are you trying to tell me that my heart is deceitful? And how are you going to tell me that I have a deceitful heart when I am your child? When that is the thing that is supposed to be in the most alignment with you. When I am someone that I have been working to be the full embodiment of love, and I know that love is who I am at the core, and I try my best to be very sweet, very kind, very loving, very compassionate, and all of these things, and I am doing all of this hard work, and you're going to tell me that my heart is deceitful? So I ended up calling my friend Ray, and we were going back and forth and having a conversation, and we came to the conclusion that it's not to say that we are evil, it's to say that we are human. And a lot of times going through life, a lot of things that we deal with, a lot of the obstacles that we go through, a lot of the interactions that we may have, it leads for our hearts to be tainted a little bit. And sometimes we don't realize it. That's where the word deceitful comes, because your heart will try to hide some of the things because it's not necessarily proud to have those feelings or to have those things be engraved in it temporarily, right? So maybe engraved is not the correct word because engraved normally means permanent, but it means that it's some things sometimes get in our heart and sometimes we don't realize it, right? And to be able to paint a picture for my anime lovers like myself, Dragon Ball, y'all know Goku had the flying nimbus, right? So the flying nimbus is literally a cloud. And one of the requirements to be able to sit on the cloud and be able to use the cloud is to be pure of heart. Now, I am still in the very early episodes of Dragon Ball Z, so I don't know if this changes later on. But where I'm currently at, the only people that have actually been able to sit on this cloud nimbus has been Goku and his family. Other people have tried to sit on it even after hearing that the requirement is to be pure of heart. They really believe that they are pure of heart, so they jump on the cloud and they end up busting their ass.
You must be pure of heart to ride this cloud. Yep, otherwise it won't let you on it. It's picky that way.
Wow!
Here, let an old man show you how it's done.
Are you okay, Master? You must have done something naughty.
Be quiet.
Now let me try it.
Eh?
Wow! Yeah, all right! I did it!
Right? And I want to take a second to really pinpoint or highlight a recent learning is like originally I thought pure of heart meant perfection. Pure of heart does not mean perfection. Goku is not perfect. Goku is slow. Right? However, he is very honest. He is very honest about all of his feelings and the things that he does and the reasons on why he wants to do things. He is very honest. And that is what pure of heart means, right? So with me learning that, I have now been taking things to God to make sure that I have been pure of heart. So I have been working on not trying to go to God with think he how I think he thinks I should feel. I've been trying to go to God with how I actually been feeling, right? And with me making this shift, God has been able to highlight some of the negative things that I have been holding on to. And God has really been able to highlight recently that my heart posture in regards to some of the things that I do has been wrong and off and not in alignment of Him. I'm happy I was able to get through that part. Let me take a second to make sure I got what I needed. Okay, now we could get into the next step. Because of instances that I have endured, I have temporarily picked up some habits that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I have been following because naturally human. I'm petty. Okay, pause. I am not petty. I am love. I have the habit of being petty and I have the habit of being spiteful, right? And so the hold on, how do I say this? I have a habit of being petty and spiteful, but I have tricked myself within that process. So y'all gonna have to know a little bit of my business for a little bit. Years ago, now it's been like 4 years, I was in a relationship where I got cheated on a lot, right? However, when I tried to be petty back in the conventional way, such as talking to other men or trying to give my attention elsewhere, I actually felt very convicted because now I was bringing in other people and actually hurting other people. And that's not who I am at my core. Like actually hurting people, I feel very bad when I do it, right? Or to an extent. We gonna get it. Okay, breathe. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. So because of that, because of the conviction that I felt, I have never been the girl to actually go and like have sex with other people or go and cheat back or go and do all of these typical things that people would do whenever they get cheated on. And let's take a second. Let's talk about how actually dumb that is, okay? Because you get cheated on, right? And then you say, okay, I'm gonna get this nigga back by going and cheating on him. And I'm gonna prove to him and I'm gonna show some control and I'm gonna show that I could do all these things. But in essence, you let somebody else's actions control your actions. So who is really holding the remote? Right? And you say, I'm gonna prove my worth to this man by giving my body to another man. Or vice versa with women. I'm gonna just let you sit on that for a little bit. And I know that is not the popular topic, or that's not the popular view on how to go about it. But really think about it. I'm gonna get this nigga back by trying to be with his friend. I'm gonna get this nigga back by going and having sex with all of these people. Who are you really getting back? Okay, now back. Let's go ahead. Let's refocus. So I tricked myself because I was not doing that. I was like, oh, I'm not being petty or I'm not being spiteful, because opposed to actually like going and laying down with other people, I would just work on myself, right? Like who can say that working on yourself is petty? Who can say that working on yourself is spiteful? The unfortunate reality of it is that if I am using that as my motivation, or if I'm using someone else's action as my motivation to work on myself in order to make them mad, that is petty. That is petty. So let me give some examples so I could really like paint the picture. So in the last relationship, when we finally broke up, I was like, okay, bet. Then that man cheated on me all these times. I'm gonna make sure that he feels hurt as much as I did in some capacity. So what I did, I went in the gym. I went in the gym. I got the fat ass. I got the abs that he kept trying to get me to get in the gym. I really worked and got my personality back up to really be more back to being more fun and loving. That I wasn't like that with him. And we topic for another conversation because now I'm getting in too deep. But I decided to go in the gym out of spite, right? Because I wanted to prove to him that I actually could build the body that I know that he wanted me to have. And granted, in regards to that, even in regards, because I'm trying not to restart. So, and I'm starting to get a little bit chaotic. So let's reel it in. I have always had the desire to have a certain physique. Even before I've been in any relationships, I was one of those kids like in middle school where I was secretly doing sit-ups like at 12 o'clock in the morning, because I did always want to have a flat stomach. I wanted to have abs. Unfortunately, when I got in a relationship and I kept being cheated on, instead of actually being in the gym and going towards the things that I wanted, I was laying up underneath him, believing that laying up underneath him would hinder him from being able to cheat, because now all his time was with me. I was wrong. He still found the time. That's okay. But I should have still been in that gym, regardless of what he was doing. But after we broke up, I wanted to make him hurt. And so I decided to go in the gym, and I always was posting. I always was like being very adamant of making sure that people would see my progress so that he could see it, and that so that he could be frustrated about the fact that I waited until after we broke up to do it, and knowing that I would get the body that would actually generate more attraction and attention from other men. I hope that makes sense. That is not the way that you should go about like really working on yourself. Because one, building habits out of spite means that they will never be sustainable. As I mentioned earlier, at my core, I am love, right? And because of that, especially as I work more with my relationship with God, the spite is going to break off. The spite is not, the spite and the desire to be petty is not going to stay with me long term. So when I no longer had that spite or the desire to be petty towards him, which it actually took some time, but I started to get chubby again, actually. And I actually was losing a lot of the progress that I was making in the gym because my discipline wasn't actual discipline. It was adrenaline that was fueled from spite. And that is not something that could last long term. I really hope that makes sense. Let's take a second, let's pause, let's digest, and let's make sure I hit the points that I wanted to hit on. Mm, mm. So I be making some good notes. I also want to hit on the fact that in general, seeking revenge is not what we're supposed to do. Period. Actually, I feel like sometimes as a society, we forget that even the people that hurt us are also children of God, right? So God never wants us to go and seek revenge on his child. That is not our place. It it is his place to actually reprimand his child for not doing what they're supposed to. We're not supposed to be seeking revenge. All right. That was something that I wanted to make a note of to make sure that you're aware. Now, this was 4 years ago. So like, Crystal, how is this a conversation now? I want to bring up the fact y'all noticed that like I've been being so much better with posting content, so much better with recording videos or doing everything that I said that I'm gonna do. Somebody pissed me off. Yeah, somebody pissed me off, and I I decided to be like, yeah, they made me mad. Now I'm about to do everything that they've been telling me to do while I'm not talking to them. Okay, I'm not gonna laugh because it's not funny. I get uncomfortable. It's funny. It's funny to like actually reflect and realize how immature that actually is. So I'm gonna take ownership of that. So because of that, and with my process of taking what I'm actually feeling to God, I realized a lot of the times, and especially within my content recently, are the moves that I have been making and the things that I have been doing have been for the wrong reason, right? So in regards to my content, the type of videos that I post, actually even being able to have a platform, what I actually do with my 9 to 5 and all of those things, it is in alignment of God's will. These are some things that God has told me to do. He's told me to make a YouTube. He told me to have these conversations. I am very passionate about education, so I should want to strive to be good with my job and the things that I do. All of that is what he's told me to do, right? So I should want to do it out of obedience, not out of spite. Do you know like how much of a slap in the face it could feel to God to like literally tell him, I care more about making these videos to make a nigga mad than I care about actually obeying your orders? We're gonna let that sit for a little bit. I care more about being petty and trying to shit on a nigga than I care about actually making sure that I do the things that you tell me to do consistently. That's crazy. Okay, like it's really actually hitting me. Like that's crazy that I have been using that as my actual fuel, opposed to actually wanting to obey the God, the being that has been there for me, that has been keeping me, that has been supplying and providing and comforting me and loving me. That's crazy. Okay. And that could be a huge slap in his face. And that is why he has been telling me, check your heart posture. Check what you actually, check the reason on why you're actually doing these things. God did not give me a platform to shit on niggas. God did not give me a platform to make friends. God did not give me a platform for the Crystal Show. right? Something I wanted to hit on, when I started actually generating followers and attention on my social media platform, I had to take a second to digest, sit back, and I'm like, okay, what would be the purpose? Now I have all these eyes on me. What do I actually want to be the outcome of me making videos? And I decided, between my conversations with God, we decided to be able to help people find joy. I cannot give people joy. I unfortunately do not have that power. I am not God. God is the only one that can give that joy. However, with me being a vessel and me being the embodiment of love, I could have those conversations and have the videos and have the things that help people find Him. I could be that physical representation of God that helps draw people to Him in order to help them find that joy. I cannot shine that light if I am using spite as my motivation. And also, using spite as the motivation is not sustainable. So I will always, if I keep on trying to prove something to people or make people mad or showcase the things or try to make this a crystal show, I will not actually have the outcome that I desire. I would not actually be able to do this long term, right? Because say I keep on using spite as my drive, we're going to take a second. Let's boom, pause, pen, breathe, because I'm getting into it too deep. I'm going to go off the rail for a second and we're going to be able to come back and tie a bonus. I want to highlight and give a little testimony. God spoils me bad. And when I say everything that has been good for me that I asked for, God has given me, I quite literally mean everything. Down, like, we could start from me even going to FAMU. My one request in regards to college was that I wanted a full ride. With FAMU, they gave me a partial scholarship, right? That is not a full ride. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going there because it's not a full ride. Why a recruiter from Tallahassee, Florida ended up being at an event in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I was able to have a conversation with them, let them know that I had a partial ride. He asked me what I was majoring in. I said business. He was like, business has another scholarship. He was able to email someone on the spot to get the rest of my room and board paid for me to be able to have a full ride. Let's take it back to recent activities with meeting J. Cole, right? I told God I wanted to meet J. Cole, but I said I did not want to have to meet him around a huge crowd that may have overwhelmed me. Like, I didn't want that. I was still going to try. Like, I want to meet J. Cole. But I'm like, my desire is to be able to not be overwhelmed by too many people. I was able to talk to that man for 20 minutes with nothing but the Dreamville members around. So I say that to say God spoils me very deeply. And I have been asking for some things. There's a lifestyle that I have been asking for that I know is good for me. There is a husband that I have been asking for that I know is good for me. Now we're going to go ahead and tie it back. If I continue to use spite and pettiness as my drive, what will happen when God actually gives me that lifestyle that I'm asking for? What will happen when I actually get that loving husband and the spite and the pettiness no longer exists? Now I have not actually developed the authentic skills to be able to maintain those blessings that I asked for. Hey, let me breathe. Let me breathe. It's the fact, like, it's really funny, like, how after all this time, it actually hit me. And it's like, it's actually kind of like, it's sick and it's childish because, like, with, I have to stop leaning so much into society because I'm, I'm flustered now and I can't even speak. I went so many years talking about, oh, I love when I cut a nigga off because then my life upgrade. I should not have to cut a nigga off to upgrade my life. I should have that drive within me like regardless of anyone else, to be able to really reach towards the lifestyle that I am asking God for. Like the sick thing, like the really sick thing, I remember like moving here and then like getting a little crush. And I remember telling Ray Dean verbatim, I told her, I said, if I get my heart broken again, I'm gonna become Beyonce. Like this. Okay, relax, focus. And I meant that. I meant that wholeheartedly. Cause I was like, yeah, let a nigga break my heart again. I'm gonna make sure that he will see me for the rest of his life. I will make sure there'll be no way that he could doubt the skills and the talent that that I have. I will make sure there's no way that he like I want him to wake up stomach in knots that he lost me. I should not be like that. That like what? First of all, God did not give me the talents to try to make other people have knots in their stomach. He gave me the talents so that I could give them back to him. And why should I have to say, I want, if my heart is broken, then I'll become Beyonce? I should be one to become Beyonce regardless. And I don't mean that literally. I mean like her actual work ethic, her performance quality, her stage presence, her confidence. I should want that regardless of if I'm heartbroken or not. I feel like I need to go put myself in timeout. um, I just got riled up again because it really didn't hit for real until like now. That's why I really do like the fact that I pushed myself to do this series, because not only is it forcing me to work on my camera skills, work on my talking skills, but it's actually like highlighting some things that I still need to work on. Because I be moving through the world like I got it, I got everything, I understand everything besides me and my mental health obstacles. God has been doing a really good job of just highlighting the things that I continuously need to work on. And he's been doing it in such a very patient and fatherly, loving way. He has been reprimanding me. He has been making sure, like, he's been getting me together. I'm happy that I come to this realization now, because I really have the strong desire to really reach the lifestyle that I have been asking for. If I'm being honest, I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of sitting in cycles. I'm tired of repeating mistakes. I'm tired of being hard-headed and disobedient. I actually am. I'm exhausted. But the first step to actually solve the problem is to admit that there is one. So now I give myself some grace. Now I know that I need to make sure that the things that I do, I am checking my heart before I do it. Now, as y'all could see, as y'all could hear, this is a very newer revelation. So obviously I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. So my process that I will do from now on, I am going to take, like, this whole year has been taking everything to God. I got to take everything to God. Whenever I try to do something with something negative being the motivation for it, I'm going to have to take a pause and take it to God and let him sit me down and have the conversation with me before I proceed. Because one thing that I don't want to do is like really mishandle my blessings. That is one of like the deepest prayers that I've been praying recently. I I think that's all I have to say. Um, I hope that I made sense. I know I was jumping all over the place, but sometimes it be hitting me in the moment. Something that is like related but unrelated. I would like to encourage y'all to actually read your Bible, but not read the Bible in order to get some revelation. Read the Bible because going through it, it helps you really understand who God is as a being. Understanding who God is as a being helps strengthens your relationship with him. So it helps the conversations be a lot more easier because now you have a better understanding of how God operates because you took the time to actually study him. And I'm saying this for me as well. I started doing this a few years ago, but I be slacking because I be using the wrong thing to motivate me. So I got back into it literally this morning. I'm like, I had to pull out my Bible, pull up my highlighter, my pen. Boom, boom, boom. God does this. God moves like this. God does stuff so that he could get the glory, not for me. This will never be the crystal show. And I need to have that as a reminder. This is a way so that people are able to draw nearer to God, whatever that process may look like, from whatever one of my outlets, from the music videos that I create, from the conversations that I have, from the funny skits that I do, from the motivational pics that I do in the gym. I want you to know that I want you to be able to draw closer to God. Not me, God. And now I think I'm like at that 30-minute mark. I don't know if I'm gonna put my bloopers in because honestly, in my bloopers, I was frustrated. I don't think they're funny this time around. We'll see. Nonetheless, if you sat here and listened to me go through that for a whole 30 minutes, I love and appreciate you. I encourage you to, one, read your Bible to have a better understanding of how God operates. Two, analyze yourself, journal, reflect, take some time to look on the areas where your heart posture may not be in alignment with God, and then hand it to him so that he could help. Don't beat yourself up over it. We're human, right? The things that we deal with, it happens naturally. But just take it back to God so that he could do the work to fix it. Fix it, Jesus. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.